Hello Internet! Welcome to the channel where we dive deep into the rabbit holes of your favorite media. Remember those Saturday mornings? Cartoons, sugary cereal, and hours of Nickelodeon. But what if those bright, goofy shows hid something much darker? Today we're exploring the wildest, most disturbing fan theories about the Nickelodeon universe. These theories will change how you see your favorite Nicktoons, maybe forever. Quick disclaimer. These are just fan theories, not confirmed by creators, but if you love questioning everything, stick around. You're about to see your childhood in a whole new, possibly mind-bending light. Let's start with a classic, the Rugrats theory, a fan theory that's been whispered about for years and has taken on a life of its own in internet lore. On the surface, Rugrats is a lighthearted show about babies going on wild, imaginative adventures, exploring the world in ways only toddlers can. But dig a little deeper, and the theory takes a dark turn. All the babies, except Angelica, and possibly Dill, are actually figments of Angelica's imagination. She conjures them up as a way to cope with her overwhelming loneliness and the trauma she experiences at home. Angelica is the only character who seamlessly interacts with both the babies and the adults, which, according to the theory, is because she invented their world. She's the bridge between reality and her own fantasy. Take Chucky, for example. In this theory, he's imagined after his mother's tragic death during childbirth, which explains his constant anxiety and fearfulness. Phil and Lil? Angelica supposedly created them after overhearing adults talk about a lost pregnancy. Not knowing if the baby was a boy or a girl, she simply made twins, one of each. Tommy's story is even sadder. According to the theory, he was stillborn, and his father Stu copes by obsessively building toys for a son who never got to play with them. Angelica's parents are emotionally or physically absent, leaving her in the care of grieving relatives. To fill the emptiness, she invents these babies, controlling and sometimes tormenting them because they represent her own pain and confusion. Susie is the only real friend Angelica has. She plays along with Angelica's stories not to encourage the fantasy, but to help her cope and feel less alone. Then there's Dill, who appears later in the series. He's real, uncontrollable, always crying, and impossible for Angelica to fit into her fantasy world. His presence shatters the illusion she's built. The show's creators have publicly debunked this theory, insisting it was never their intention. But the theory still reframes Angelica as a tragic figure, not just a bratty antagonist. Suddenly, Rugrats isn't just about baby adventures anymore. It becomes a story about a lonely girl's fractured psyche, her desperate attempts to make sense of a world that feels empty and cold. Whether you believe the theory or not, it's hard to watch Angelica the same way again. She's no longer just the bossy kid, she's a symbol of childhood pain and imagination gone awry. The evidence is circumstantial, and the theory is chilling, but it's also strangely compelling. It makes you question what's real and what's imagined in the world of Rugrats. Childhood innocence reimagined as heartbreak, a reminder that sometimes the wildest stories hide the deepest truths. Next up, the Fairly Odd Parents. Timmy Turner's fairy godparents, Cosmo and Wanda, grant his every wish, but what if they're not real? The theory Cosmo and Wanda are metaphors for antidepressants, Zoloft and Prozac. Timmy's life is miserable, neglectful parents, an abusive babysitter, and a teacher out to get him. The fairies appear when he's alone and sad, just when a doctor might prescribe medication. Cosmo's chaos, side effects, Wanda's caution, the stabilizing effect. Their pink and green colors even resemble some pill capsules. Timmy can't tell anyone about his fairies, mirroring the stigma around mental health. The fairies only stay while he's unhappy. When he's better, they leave, just like medication. Wishes aren't about changing reality but coping with it. Villains like Vicky and Crocker represent trauma and the fear of being found out. Even Poof, the fairy baby, could symbolize a new medication or dosage. Suddenly the show isn't just wacky fun, it's a surprisingly accurate allegory for a child's struggle with depression. Magic as medicine, and every wish a coping mechanism. Let's dive to Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob SquarePants. A theory claims each main character represents a deadly sin. Patrick Sloth, he's the king of laziness. Mr. Krabs Greed, obsessed with money, will do anything for a buck. Squidward Envy, resentful of SpongeBob's happiness, bitter about his own life. Plankton Gluttony, not just for food but for the secret formula and success. Sandy Pride, constantly proving she's the best, proud of her skills and heritage. SpongeBob Lust, not sexual, but an overwhelming desire for love and friendship. Gary Wrath, quiet, but his rare outbursts and constant annoyance channel the anger others suppress. Each character's quirks become a morality play, turning Bikini Bottom into a sea of sin. Suddenly every Krabby Patty flip and jellyfishing trip is loaded with hidden meaning. The show's chaos, it's the 7 deadly sins arguing under the sea. Next time you watch, see if you can spot the sins in action. It's not just a kids show, it's a lesson in vice. Who knew Bikini Bottom was so deep? Now to the city. Hey Arnold! Arnold's parents, we're told, disappeared on a mission. But what if that's a cover story? The theory, Arnold's grandparents are actually his real parents who had him late in life. To avoid stigma, they invented the tale of heroic missing parents. Look at Arnold's football head. He resembles his grandparents, not his supposed parents. Phil and Gertrude's quirky, childlike parenting style fits older parents trying to raise a young son. Their devotion and guilt could be from hiding the truth, not just missing their child. The adventurous parents story gives Arnold a heroic origin, shielding him from embarrassment. The show's timeline is fuzzy, and the boarding house is full of their history. The Jungle movie later confirmed the original story, but for years, this theory added a layer of emotional complexity. Sometimes the wildest stories are the ones we tell to protect the people we love. Let's blast off to Retroville, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. The theory, Jimmy's genius isn't natural, he's the product of a secret government experiment. Retroville's retro-futuristic vibe, a controlled environment to monitor Jimmy. His parents are too average, possibly government agents or selected caretakers. Jimmy's lab is impossibly advanced for a kid, maybe government-funded. His friends, Carl and Sheen, could be control subjects or part of the experiment. The constant alien threats, staged tests to push Jimmy's intellect. Even his brain blasts might be side effects of genetic modification. Jimmy's life is a data-gathering project, not a normal childhood. Every adventure is another test. Every invention another data point. Got a blast! Isn't just a catchphrase, it's a cry for escape. Jimmy Neutron, not just a genius, but a lab rat in a gilded cage. Time to get weird. Invader Zim. This isn't your typical alien invasion story. Instead of a menacing conqueror, we get Zim, a pint-sized, overzealous alien with more enthusiasm than skill, and a knack for causing chaos wherever he goes. The theory? Zim isn't a real invader at all. He's more of a cosmic misfit, an outsider among his own kind, never quite fitting in with the rest of the Urkan Empire. He's a defective reject, sent to Earth as a joke to get rid of him. The tallest, the leaders of his people see him as a problem to be solved, by sending him far, far away. After ruining Operation Impending Doom 1, Zim is exiled, not executed, an unusual mercy but really just a way to keep him out of their hair. His reputation for disaster precedes him. He's a nuisance, not a threat. The Urkan leaders don't fear him, they just want him gone, hoping he'll disappear into obscurity. The tallest send him to a secret planet they think doesn't exist, Earth. It's the ultimate brush-off, a mission designed to fail. His CR unit, GIR, is made of trash, sabotage from the start. Instead of a competent assistant, Zim gets a malfunctioning, hyperactive robot. The tallest mock him, never send help, and keep him out of their way. Zim's pleas for backup are met with laughter and eye rolls. Zim's mission is a farce, and he's the only one who doesn't know it. He takes every order seriously, never realizing he's the punchline. No other Urkans check on him, he's left completely alone, isolated on a planet no one else cares about. Earth is a cosmic dumping ground, a forgotten corner of the universe where Zim is meant to fade away. Dib, his nemesis, is the only one who sees the truth, but no one believes him. The world laughs off his warnings, leaving Zim unchecked. Zim's relentless efforts are a desperate plea for acceptance from an empire that's abandoned him. Every scheme is a cry for validation. The show becomes a tragicomedy. Zim's failures are hilarious, but there's a sadness underneath, a longing to belong. Zim, the outcast, fighting for approval he'll never get. He's surrounded by others but always alone. He's not just a villain, he's a cosmic joke. The universe laughs at his ambition but he never stops trying. Invader Zim, doomed from the start but never giving up, making his story both ridiculous and strangely heroic. For our final theory, let's step into the wild live-action world of Dan Schneider, a creative force behind some of Nickelodeon's most iconic shows. His unique style and recurring themes have sparked a fascinating fan theory that's taken the internet by storm. Think about it, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, Zoe 101 and more, all with overlapping humor, quirky characters and similar settings. The theory? All these shows exist in the same shared universe, the so-called Schneiderverse. Characters cross over, iCarly and Victorious meet, and supporting characters pop up in multiple series, blurring the lines between their worlds. Take Helen, for example. She's a movie theater manager in Drake and Josh, then later appears as a principal in Victorious. Same character, same backstory. And let's not forget the fictional brands, Pear Phones, Blick Sodas and more, that pop up everywhere, tying the worlds together in subtle but clever ways. The spin-off Sam and Cat cements the connection, bringing characters from different shows together as roommates, and showing how their lives intertwine beyond their original series. Even websites, celebrity gossip and pop culture references are shared across series, making the universe feel even more connected. The result? A unified, wacky version of America where these stories unfold side by side, city by city. Imagine parallel neighborhoods, each home to a different sitcom family, all just a street away from each other. It's like a kid-friendly Marvel Cinematic Universe, but with more slapstick and less supervillains. Dedicated fans who watched it all are rewarded with inside jokes, cameos, and Easter eggs that make rewatching a blast. Every show is a puzzle piece in a much bigger world, each episode adding a new layer to the conspiracy. Suddenly your favorite sitcoms aren't just isolated stories. They're part of a grand, interconnected tapestry of teen comedy. The Schneiderverse, more than just a theory, it's a Nickelodeon multiverse, where anything can happen and everyone is just a crossover away. Who knew your favorite sitcoms were all neighbors living side by side in the zaniest universe on TV? And there you have it, 7 theories that might change how you see Nickelodeon forever. From Angelica's Imaginary Friends to Jimmy Neutron's Secret Experiment, these shows are deeper than we realized. Which theory hit you hardest? Which one ruined your childhood? Let me know in the comments. Got your own wild Nicktoon theory? Share it below. If you enjoyed this nostalgia-shattering ride, hit subscribe and ring the bell for more. Until next time, stay curious, and try not to let the existential dread get you down.